Welcome to the June 13th meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh?
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policies.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Okay, if the clerk can please call the roll.
Mr. Hurd?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Phelan?
Here.
Ms. Winterfield?
Here.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Here.
We have quorum.
Okay, we do not have any presentations for this evening, so I'm going to go right to reports from volunteers, and I'll ask Ken to come up.
Ken Hardacre, 8 Brookside, here on behalf of the Flood Advisory Committee. As most of you know, after I re-elevated my house, and the design was approved by the town, all permits were filed, everything was inspected, and I quite happily reside there. It has come to the attention of the Flood Advisory Committee that when an application came in for a similar elevation design, one that would not include an enclosed garage, it was denied. They were told that the new rule is that any elevation would require a fully enclosed garage. So, the committee is basically saying, if in fact my home was not in violation at the time that it was constructed, when was it that council made a change to any ordinance or rule that the advisory committee was not aware of that suddenly disallowed that particular zone? Because we were assuming that as much open space underneath the house was preferable under DEP preferences as well as the town.
And do you know why they got denied?
I was told by the builder, who happens to be on our committee. He submitted the plans. He was told that those plans were not acceptable, not by, let's correct that, by someone other than Bob Grant. That was no longer allowed, that the town required that there be a fully enclosed garage. Now our issue is this: if the council decides that's what they want to do, that's fine. We just don't want other members of the township staff making decisions on their own that are going to discourage people from moving forward with elevations, because let's face it, I know personally that if you enclose a garage, you're going to incur a significant amount of additional expense for the masonry and some of the other things that would be required to do that.
Well, let's let, yeah, I'm going to let Dave talk, and then I had some thoughts about why that might have come up.
Yeah, I mean, there were no changes to local ordinance. The application of both FEMA and DEP rules change over time because the rules change and the interpretations that we receive on how to apply them change over time. If you can provide me, and if you want to do it by email, it's fine.
Yeah,
if you can provide me specifics about the home. And is this a home that's involved in one of the FEMA applications? No. Because there are rules specific to the grant that may or may not allow certain things which might otherwise be permitted in terms of eligible costs.
Yeah, and our assumption was that that's what, for example, this evening's meeting is to start explaining
Exactly
to people the rules regarding the grant. everyone's not gonna get a grant. We don't want those people that are encouraged to utilize their own funds or get funds from other sources to elevate their home to suddenly find out, because this particular individual, and Don Argot, by the way, is built, it's no big secret, sits on our committee, it's his sister's home over on Pequannock Avenue. He had to incur significant additional expense to go back to have the engineers redesign the structure. And our concern as a committee is purely, we don't want rule changes that aren't authorized by this council and this township manager to suddenly play a role, and people get frustrated and say, you know what, this is a nightmare, and we don't want to do it. And then you know how things are. They'll be talking, and we'll have. Right now, we've got everybody thinking this is a good thing to do, and we just don't want to have it.
Yeah, we don't have, like I said, at this point in time, we still don't have an answer of where that came from or if it's even true. It could be part of the grant process too.
Well,
That they,
Well, I can give
The
Dave a
other-
copy of a document I have that indicates
Right.
where it came from within the township.
Okay.
based on location, the other problem, and I know that we're experiencing it, is the, the terminology that the state uses in terms of best available data. Pequannock Avenue, along with much of that area, is impacted by the new flood rate maps, where a lot of that area is designated floodway on the new unimproved maps. But according to DEP, those are the maps that have to be used when applying their standards. So a home that was previously not in the floodway now is, based on DEP standard, may have different application of what.
And we
the
understand that, we're just
free-flowing
trying to
spaces,
get
so-
clarification, because my understanding is, and again, this is hearsay, but I'm fairly comfortable with the comment was made based on the source of the information. Because I kind of took a bit of personal offense, since I'm the only one developed at my house with a garage, that people will just use it to accumulate junk underneath their house. I took a photo. I definitely don't have junk under my house. So I can tell you that personally, and this is talking to me personally now about the committee, that any enclosed structure, you look inside the 14 by 12 room that sits under my house, where the stairs go, I got stuff in it. Not that it can't be removed, but there's stuff, okay, because it's closed and you can't see it, and I have things that I have put in underneath. It's wide open. You can see exactly what I'm doing and what I'm putting around there. Just at this point, just furniture.
I'd rather not speculate. If you get me
I'll get you the information.
the specifics, I will get you and the committee a firm answer as to why that was done, and I'll
And the committee just
go over
wanted me to
some
state
of the issues that we're having with interpretation, and we don't want to interpret that way because it's a
And I get it,
more
you
strict
can't put
interpretation.
DEP's DEP. The committee just wanted to make it clear that we are fine with it, whatever the determination of the council and township manager is with regards to the rules that will exist. We just want to make sure that those rules are sanctioned by you and not by other people who sometimes sit in meetings that I've sat in which issues are discussed that really don't fall under the purview of the individuals discussing.
Ken, I know you couldn't go there tonight, but the homeowners meeting tonight was very good. Both Bob Grant and Joe Golden were over there. They might still be there now. You might be able to catch them in the parking lot. But there were some questions that were answered. Number one, I do think that the house you meant was on Madison. It was not on Pequannock Ave.
Yeah,
It was his sister's house. It
Yeah,
was
it
the
is
one
his- it is his sister's
I was
house.
his realtor her realtor at one time. She was going to sell. She decided to stay and elevate. It's on Madison. The other clarification I wanted to make is some of the things that have been said, maybe not in relation to this, but when people were talking about, like, people a lot of times will look at your house and they'll say, I like that design, but I'm being told I can't do that. If you're in the grant process, the grant only covers, as you might well know, lifting it. However, if somebody wanted to do something like go higher and do like the arches underneath and
Yeah,
stuff,
that's at their
that's
expense.
at their
Absolutely.
expense. So there could have been some confusion there as well, somebody saying something, whether they were
no problem. I'll give
thinking
Dave
it's in
the
grant or
information.
not.
The committee is, like I said, the committee's, the only reason they sent me here is they wanted to make sure
Yep.
that it was clear that, we're gonna back whatever the council says they wanna do, and tell people that that's the way it is when we're talking to them. We just wanna make sure that council and township manager are aware it's not something that's being determined as.
Great.
Thank you.
Did you want to say something about the flood app again?
I already spoke to
Okay,
Dave, he's gonna
great.
get in touch with me,
Good.
ready to go, I'll get him access, and then they'll be able to do.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Okay. There being no further discussions on reports from volunteers, next is public comment. If anyone would like to address the public, raise your hand. Wait to be recognized. Okay, no public comment. Next on the agenda, it would normally be public hearings. We do not have any public hearings for this evening. Ordinances for introduction, we have none as well. So I'm going to move right on to the resolutions for approval, and I'm going to ask Carol to read resolutions by title, please.
Resolution R 2017-114, authorizing release of designated escrow deposits. 2017-115, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. 116, authorizing release of deposits for construction in a township right-of-way. 2017-117, authorizing completion of an application to participation in the electronic tax sale program. R 2017-118, requesting the Director of the New Jersey Division of Local Government Service approve an amendment to the Township's 2017 municipal budget in the amount of $9,805.50 for funds received from the Atlantic Health Medical Center. R 2017-119, requesting the Director of the New Jersey Division of Local Government Services approve an amendment to the Township's 2017 municipal budget in the amount of $175,000 for funds received from the Department of Transportation Municipal Aid Program. The notifications for those two applications were in the reports and notices on this agenda. R 2017-120, authorizing the award of a professional services contract to Tetra Tech to develop an application for the 2017 FEMA Flood Mitigation Assistance Program to conduct grant administration tasks associated with the 2015 FMA award for the elevation of 26 properties in accordance with the Township of Pequannock's Elevation Action Plan in an amount not to exceed $60,000. 2017-121, approving the renewal of the designated alcoholic beverage control licenses. And there's an update to that. We got 2 applications today, and we just wanted to get them in before the last council meeting. And R 2017-122, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the June 9th, 2017 bill list.
All right, thank you, Carol. Are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
Two. Order 2017-120, that's $16,000. We're not getting reimbursement. It's,
Some of it will be reimbursed. This is work on both our 17 grant application, which is not reimbursable, and assistance with submitting applications for payment to FEMA for the 15 grant. That is reimbursable.
So $45,000 out of our pocket, 15.
Amount.
But it's for the betterment of the area, so.
And just for your information, the original proposal was more than 3 times this. This was after some discussions about what their roles would be.
And then my second thing is on 2017-121, I don't see the council.
Castle has not completed their application yet. They're not in a great rush because they're not actually serving. Okay.
Because my understanding is on September is over.
Yes, and they're aware that we've had discussions with them.
Okay. I was just curious, I didn't see that.
I'm in a rush because it's more work for me, but
We'll function. Carol's in the rush, that's it.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a small question that maybe by now I should know the answer to it, but I don't. On 2017-122, on the approved items, there's 2 items on there for the library, lights and vacuum. Do we buy them for them, or do they buy that stuff? Right?
That falls under, it's our building, so we fix it.
But a vacuum? But don't they maintain the building?
Well, we provide custodial services.
Well, we provide them a generous amount of money that they have that budget. I just saw those things and I just thought that was really strange that if I was, you know,
It's our building, so we have
Yeah, but I was a
to
tenant.
vacuum it.
people here, it's whatever. I just think that they have a generous budget and I would think that that budget would come out of their budget and not our grounds and budget.
There are a fair number of things that I send back.
Okay,
That
fair enough.
I pick and choose my battles.
Okay, they were small.
Yes.
And fair enough. That's it. Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, just that's it.
Dave, you got anything?
All right, I'm good.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make this motion, a motion to adopt 2017-114 through 2017-122.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mrs. Winterfield?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. Next, we just had a discussion item on the Morris County budget presentation. I think it's always
So we should.
a good idea, so I don't know what there is to discuss.
Yeah, I'd like them to come.
I would like them to.
If you have a
come as well.
particular date, that's a,
At a council meeting, right? We don't want to do. So when is the first reasonable council meeting we can get them in?
Well, you gotta ask them what this.
Right.
Well, they tell us, they gave us.
Right. Yeah, I would just try to get them on at
as soon as possible?
as soon as possible at one of the council meetings. That doesn't have too
Enough to give us
much.
time to advertise it for the public.
Yeah, so they can come. That would be a good idea too. So maybe we could, put it on the website, put it on Facebook.
Yes, there you go.
That was easy.
I don't know if there's any times that are better than others with the summer coming up and vacations.
Just enough time so we can advertise it. Don't say like next month.
Let them give us
Well,
the
do you
dates.
think summertime affects how many people show up here at least?
I
Well,
just
look
want, I want
today.
people to have enough lead time, you know.
Okay,
We have that. That's good.
there you go. All right, let's, moving right along to reports and notices. Any questions on the reports and notices? We had 3 on the, that were given to us, the DOT grant, Shelton Medical Center.
I do have a question about that one now.
Okay.
So where the stakes are, is that going to be the blacktop is, or
Yeah, that's curb line,
is there going to be any sidewalk on the outside of that?
north side.
On the north side with the big trees. Yeah.
And there are trees and obstructions on both sides.
So trees will be removed.
There are, yes. Trees are actually easier than city.
So if you're turning off of the boulevard, it's on the right-hand side that the sidewalk is.
Correct.
Now, is my understanding that utility poles are being moved on the other side?
The number will be, that's kind of, you can look at, on the south side, which is not the sidewalk side.
Right.
The curb is really the edge of, disturbance, so anything that's more than a foot outside those markers is going to stay, even though, we'll be acquiring right-of-way, so that we have a uniform right-of-way with the entire thing, the entire length. So the right-of-way may go 7 or 8 feet beyond where the markers are.
Okay.
The markers are the disturbance area for the road. As of this point, our position is no. If we get to a point, and that point is coming soon, where we're unable to reach agreement with all of the homeowners that is consistent, then we'll have to go back and relook at that, so we are dealing with all of the acquisitions in a common
Together.
uniform.
That was my last question or comment. How is that going?
We had a couple property owners that were, amenable to providing right of way, and a couple who are not.
Would that be considered an improvement?
Yes.
Or they could be assessed?
Yes.
putting curbs and sidewalks?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Probably end up
road,
being a wash.
yes.
We've made that clear.
And within the next month, if we're unable to resolve, we'll be coming back so we can discuss what the next steps are and whether you want to consider making it an assessment program. So we essentially cover the additional cost of paying everyone for writing.
So when we assess it, they give them money.
I don't want to be in a position of, paying two people
No.
and
I
No,
agree with you.
no, you have to be uniform.
Good. The question that I had is, the first aid squad been made aware of the grant that we got for
Chilton?
Chilton?
I'm not sure, but I will.
I didn't say anything last night,
Yeah.
because I don't know if they wanted that.
Yeah, it's fairly recent. It's actually for all first responders within our health area. So the health department will be reaching out to police, fire, EMS, and all 5 towns.
I was happy to see that. Anyone else?
No?
All right. All right, we're going to go right into the manager's report, I believe.
Got an updated project status report. We have good progress on the 2015 FEMA elevation grant, which the kickoff meeting with homeowners is tonight. The Mountain Avenue project is moving along. We just got our second grant, obviously. Shred Day was on the 3rd, and we had a good line the entire several hours we were there. So that was a success. And a list of dates of events coming up. That's all I have.
Okay, great. Thank you. I guess I'll start with Ryan. You have anything tonight, Ryan? Unless anybody has questions on the manager's report. Everybody's good?
Dave, do we have any idea when we would start the turnpike at the end of the striping and the additional crosswalks that we saw?
I don't, but I will check.
Ryan, no other
Go ahead,
questions?
Question. This is from Open Space. They have their minutes and information like this. Is this something that we can use across all of our committees to make everything consistent?
That would be nice.
They do a great job. I mean, everything is very clean, consistent. I like the way it is. But is this something that we can push to all committees and just have them? So I'm sure that can also help.
I think it would be great. I brought that up
Narrow
before.
everything in line.
Yeah. I think it should be more uniform. That's something that we can look at.
So Dave, if I can get the template of this, can I push it to you and then you can send it out to all committees?
We can at least try.
Make everything more consistent.
You don't have to make it a rule, but you can make it, give it a whirl.
Yes, exactly.
Make it a suggestion so they don't feel,
Just remember, they volunteer their time.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That'll actually save them time. It's just more efficient. Beautiful. There you go. Senior committee. We are working on reaching out to the seniors in town to find out how we can actually help them in a positive way. So we're doing that right now. The open space, we have an update on the rail trail. It's still coming. But everything seems to be progressing good. That's great. The
We've
kiosks.
heard that. God knows how.
But we're close.
For 6
We're
years.
right there.
Right, for 6 years I've heard this now, just so you know.
6 years and 1 day.
That be
You are
my
correct.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming, yeah.
It's coming.
We're holding you to it right now.
We are looking for 2 other groups that can donate their time for the other 2 kiosks. We are looking for that, so if anybody in town can donate their time, that'd be great. And that's all I got for now.
all right, great. Thanks, Ryan.
Yep.
Rich, you got anything?
Just Company 1 and Company 2 had their meetings, all looks good. Company 2 is excited about getting their new fire truck. I guess it will be over in the next 2 months or so. We were discussing the delivery time maybe sometime next year, or probably having all of the lead time of courses. So that's it.
Okay.
Um, Are we gonna talk about maybe at the next meeting about filling any of the holes on the committees? Because I know the environmental commission will have, the youth liaison will be 18, and when Tommy Andrea was here, our last meeting, he talked about they have a youth liaison, they're interested in filling that position and moving around. Is that something we would discuss at next meeting, or put on the agenda, or wait till July?
And we should also look at dependents.
Right.
We could do that too, yeah.
I mean,
Maybe we should put that as an item for
We
next
can
meeting.
if you want. I think in the past, I mean, I was always pushing to fill vacant spots, but there was a policy made somewhere along the line that we
It was
weren't
June
going
or
to do
July,
that.
yeah, I don't know if it was June
But
4, July.
I'm okay
or-
with it.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked now,
Is
so
it
I
real?
think this is the month, or is it July?
We were going to do it just, yeah, we were just going to do
Well,
it.
we would have to discuss it in June.
Right.
So maybe we can put it for,
Right.
for discussion.
Is everybody okay like that? We'll get attendance from the committees. Carol, maybe you can send a message out to the committees or the chairs for attendance.
New
They
application.
can send
New
that with the
application.
boilerplate for the minutes.
And we'll definitely have to review the youth liaison for that environmental, because I know there was a question about that last
Do we have
time.
an opening for the regular member?
Well, we will when that moves,
Right.
and the suggestion of, Tom Andrea was to move Spencer.
I just
wanted to discuss all the committees, and I guess maybe we can put it for discussion next time.
We'll put it for discussion, because I know that was an issue with the environmental commission last time, maybe it's not now, about moving the son of.
I'd just rather do it at the
neighbor.
appropriate time, you know, we
Okay.
just discuss it. And then we had the historic commission meeting on the 7th, and a couple things came up. One thing they requested is, and I don't know how much control you have in this, is when we do the sewer for the museum, over there, that we don't do it when it's the Pathways Tour, October 7th and 8th, don't have it dug up. Well, they said, they were told it was September, but if it leads into October, and that's when they have their big event of the year.
Well, we're not gonna break ground this year for October.
So it won't be this year.
March or April.
Oh, good, because somehow they thought it was September. Someone told them September.
Facebook.
Yeah, right, I don't know.
Space, yeah.
So they don't have anything to worry about.
Not, no.
Because they heavily advertise and they're part of that.
Yeah,
Okay, so they're okay with that. All right. The other thing they wanted to know was, because of the Pathways Tour, they wanted to have the Martin Berry House part of that. And they wanted to know if they, you know, without an agreement from the Historic Commission, can they commit for that to be on the tour? I think they're safe with that. Because they were going to just do a drive-by, but I thought they could do more
No,
than a
we'll work
drive-by.
with them to provide access.
Okay, all right, so it's October 7th and 8th. And what else did they want to know? That's it. Oh, and one other thing back on the environmental commission, just so I can report back to them, because I have them tomorrow night. They had suggested about those plastic bags. And you were gonna bring it to the health department, you know, the recycling of them, because we don't recycle plastic bags.
So if they're bring them to shop back then.
Well, I looked at Stop and Shop, was supposed to do it, and it was like so overflowing, it was disgusting, you know? It was like crazy, so I just want to give them an answer one way or another.
Right,
I
yeah.
just let them know that it's on our radar, or whatever it is. Because they can earn, you can earn park benches or things, or maybe a kiosk,
Yeah,
I don't know, you can earn things by doing it. That's it.
Okay, thanks Kathy. Dave?
Parks and Rec met on June 5th. The fireworks will be June 29th, that's a Thursday night at the high school. July 8th will be the Food Truck Festival at PV Park from 11 to 6. PV Park registration has been a little slow so far, but the weather also has been pretty lousy, so hopefully with these last couple of hot days, a lot of people will be signing up for that. We also were told that there's a lot of poison ivy around the trail at Woodland Lake. Pete said he was going to look in to see if there was anything that could be sprayed that close to the water, because we were all concerned about spraying something to kill the poison ivy that close to the water, but Pete said he was going to take a look at it. And the advisory board is very excited to see some of the improvements that were in the budget this year that Pete brought to their attention. They didn't realize the amount of money that we did set aside for improvements at the park, so we're very excited about that. First aid squad met last night. The new ambulance is coming the end of September. They originally thought it was going to be coming a little earlier than that, but it's scheduled to be delivered at the end of September. And the first aid squad had a nice showing of volunteers at both the street fair and the Rotary 5K, which was this past Sunday. So that's it.
Yeah, I got some really good feedback from the street fair, even though it rained. I think they still had a decent turnout, all things considered, for the
People
street
stayed
fair.
there.
But I think the new format everyone liked. I don't know if you've heard the same thing, but I heard that it was a success. So.
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, no, I thought that was great. And Dave, you mentioned all the other events, so I don't have to go into that, so great. I just wanted to mention, I liked last week, Dave, you had sent around to us an update, and you put out that Habitat for Humanity brochure. I thought that was a great idea. That's something I'm going to pass on to, that's great for the seniors, you know, to get them help and how you get the word out there. And also, I think a lot of the realtors in the community had expressed interest, and I think you're going to get a lot of volunteers to call to see what we can do. So I just thought that was great. What else do I have? And that's it. Everybody saw the invitations to the high school graduation. Everybody's going to that next Tuesday. And everything else was already touched on, so I don't really have anything else either. So moving right along. Do we have, let's see what's next on the agenda, elected announcements. Public comment, I guess, is next on the agenda. I have that correct. I just wanted to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. Anyone that wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized. Anyone in the public want to come up to the microphone? No? Okay. So we have nothing for public comment tonight. We do have approval. Oh, we do have somebody. Come on up. That's okay. Please come.
Addie Colon, Jersey Central Power and Light Area Manager in Boonton. I just want to say hello to everyone. Haven't been here for a little bit, and Dave, I'm really happy to see you, so I'm glad that you're back. And that's all.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Anyone have any questions?
Any questions? Here to serve you.
Thank you for coming. All right, and tonight I believe we have two approvals to do for the minutes, I
I'll make
believe.
a motion to accept the minutes from May 9th and May 23rd.
I will second that.
Okay, all in favor there?
Aye.
And we do have, next on the agenda, we'll be going to closed session. I believe we have 2 items. Okay, so thank you all for coming. You can,
Is there a motion?
a motion?
I'll make a motion to go into close.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.